Morning, this is Steve, Sailing Allison. Pretty successful day yesterday. I managed to get all of the water system unconnected. So I took the raw water feed off and removed the impeller pump. So that's all done. I've drained the water cooler on the other side as well. So today I'm going to try and disconnect and pull out the oil pressure gauge. So that should be okay, I think. So the oil pressure gauge comes out here, and this pipe then whirls around and then goes up here, round the back of this unit here, and then out. So that you can finally see it there. So that's my task for today. Right, that's the first bit got off. So that was easy enough. So the pipe's here, trace it round and into the back. It's actually right in here. I don't know if you can see that there. That's there. And there's another joint here, so I can take that off. So here's the first bit. There we go. Okay. So this is where it goes. This is where it goes into the gauge, and then it goes round here. And behind this bracket, which is for the radar, would you believe? Down there, below, and then it goes through here, there. So I'm probably going to end up having to cut this, but let's see how we do. So here's the next bit. As you see, I did have to cut it in the end. So there's the oil pressure gauge. That was easy enough. So I'm going to tidy up now by covering over this hole in a reasonably waterproof way. Luckily, I found the top of a plastic cleaning tub, and which was exactly the right size to fit in the hole. So a few bits of duct tape over the top of it, and I think we've got a pretty waterproof seal. Hello and welcome to Sailing Allison on a really miserable day in December. So last time we were here I had a reasonable amount of success, so that was taking the oil pressure gauge off and removing all the piping. So today it's the dirty job of starting to drain the fuel system and disconnect the fuel system from the engine. Hopefully we have a good day today, and we have a bit of success. I mean, at least I expect that none of the joints will be difficult to disconnect. It just, I think mainly it's just being really careful so that I don't spill any diesel fuel. Let's see how we go. The fuel system on the BMC 1.5 consists of two different parts. There's like a low pressure side and there's a high pressure side. So what happens is that the fuel comes into here, this pump. This is a mechanical lift pump that pumps the fuel up and to the secondary fuel filter. So there is a pipe down at the bottom there that you can see. I'm going to undo that and drain the fuel out of that first off, I think. Right, let's get that off nice and carefully. Myself a little, so I've got this oil absorbent pad here, and I've got a little container to drop stuff into. You can see something coming out. because if a lot comes out, I'll just have to put it straight back in. No, not too bad. Great stuff. So this is where we are now. I have removed the primary fuel filter from there, and it's just draining into a diesel can at the moment. So I'm just going to let it go and until I can see that it's empty, and then package it up. So that was pretty easy to do because it's only 2 or 3 months since I put the bloody thing on. Because the old fuel filter was ancient, and so I had to buy a new one. Wasn't very expensive though. Another pipe to be aware of is this pipe here. So this is the fuel return pipe. So it comes off the, these are the injectors here. You can see there, and there's a return pipe that comes back through there, so that needs to come off. Just a quickie today on what is, as you can hear, a very bouncy afternoon, but lovely and sunny, quite breezy. I had to measure the pitch of the prop. So following a video that I found on YouTube which explained it really clearly, that I'll link to in the show notes, I have determined that the diameter of the prop is 15 inch and the pitch is 14 inch. So I'm going to send that off to the manufacturer of the electric motor so that they can gear the motor correctly. Ironically, when I looked at the prop closely, as you can see, it says 15 by 14. So at least I know that my calculations are correct. Hi there. What I'm going to do today is remove the exhaust and the raw water exhaust from the top of the engine. So I had a really good successful go last time about getting rid of the fuel pipes, taking the fuel pipes off the engine. I've got one more to go, and that kind of runs across the back of the engine. We've got 2 fuel tanks here on Allison, and this one, this pipe is actually runs from the starboard fuel tank across the engine and then to the primary fuel filter. So that one is the last one that needs to be removed. And then to make it a bit easier to get at, what I'm doing is removing the exhaust and, as I say, the raw water outlet. If we look through here, right there, that's a kind of primary fuel filter, and then the fuel pipe runs across the bottom here. You see the fuel pipe there coming in, running across the back of the engine, and then round the back to here, and then there's a joint, that T-joint you can see there, and then it goes round to the primary fuel filter. Okay, so we can now see this is where the exhaust attaches to the back of the engine, and then it goes up. You can see it's a big kind of U-shaped pipe here, and then down there, and then right out to the back. Sort of, where can you see it? Here we go. So here it goes, and it runs out to the back of the boat. And then in addition, we've got here's the back of the heat exchanger from the raw water to the engine coolant. So it goes round here, up, and then into the exhaust at the top here. So these are the 2 bits I'm going to take off today. Well, that wasn't too bad. So I've got the 2 bits off. This is the exhaust, and this is the raw water outflow. You can see this bit here that goes into the top of the exhaust there. Yeah, not too bad. I managed to drop a couple of the bolts down under the engine, but I'll be able to retrieve those once I've pulled the engine out. And this is what it looks like now. A lot cleaner. That's the rest of the exhaust there. Goes right out the back of the boat. So we've got getting more space to work now. So hopefully it should be now fairly easy to get this fuel pipe here off. Really, what I want to do is avoid spilling diesel everywhere, because I had managed to stop most of the diesel leaks and it was gradually starting to smell less, but obviously since I've started draining the diesel out, I'm getting the smell back again. So that was a pretty successful day today. Managed to get the exhaust off, and now I can do that last bit of fuel line. So I'll get that in the next few days, and then it's the biggie. It's actually getting the engine off its mounts. So hopefully over the Christmas period, I've got a few days off, then I can get to that, and then it's ready to pull out of the boat.